But this is the Kirby series. It's taught its fans to get heart palpitations whenever they see a butterfly.
Yeah.
Kirby will have to face this regular Waddle Dee.
What are we going to do? What are we gonna do?
Not even really minding if he sells them out as slave labor.
Okay, that last one, that concerns me. Hello, YouTube. My name is Cloudy Clarity, but you can call me Claire or Cloudy, and I am a Weather Witch VTuber. We are continuing today with the Designing For series, where we have seen designing for friendship, designing for kindness, and we are now here for designing for devotion. So without further ado, you guys know what the drill is, so let's just go and get ourselves started. I also loved the last one so much. Like, designing for kindness was so good, so I'm very excited to see how this one will be.
Waddle Dee.
Waddle Dee is good.
Agreed.
That basically sums up every reason you'd have to like the little guys.
I mean, he's cute. He's a good little bean. It works.
They're just sweet, intensely marketable little round boys who wouldn't hurt nobody unless you asked them to and gave them a little treat.
Yeah.
The cute
I can also be motivated with a little treat, especially a little sweet treat.
design and wide-eyed expression gives you all you need to know, and you can love them just based off of that. But this is the Kirby series. It's taught its fans to get heart palpitations whenever they see a butterfly.
Yeah. Yeah, after everything else I've been recording too.
So yeah, Waddle Dees more than meets the eye there too. But the denizens of Dreamland don't have any world-shattering secrets or huge character arcs.
No.
They're far too docile for that.
They're pretty cute.
Waddle Dees are a lot more subtle creatures, reflecting the place the Kirby series is in.
Well, and I also feel like Waddle Dees are like mini Kirbys in a way. Just a little bit of a mini Kirby, like that round shape and the big eyes. And their physical design, just looking at them there, they're very, very similar.
And doing all they can to help the series' themes and vibes shine with their presence.
Ah, good vibes.
And whether as an entire species or one incredibly loyal ally, their devotion isn't just second to none. It's the moment-to-moment magic that keeps Kirby so fun, charming, and lovable.
Aww. Designed for devotion.
Waddle Dees were introduced in Kirby's Dreamland, right alongside the lovable puffy hero and funny tyrant penguin. Dreamland was designed as a beginner's game, made for players of all skill levels to beat fairly quickly. And as the first enemy in the easy mode of platformers, Waddle Dee is almost comically ineffective. To compare Waddle Dee to another enemy mocked for their weakness, if a Goomba touches Mario before he gets a power-up, he dies. If Mario jumps on a Goomba, the most common action Mario can take in his series, they die. Now to contrast, if a Waddle Dee touches Kirby, he does 1/6 of Kirby's maximum health.
1/6? Let's go! Oh, poor babies.
And then you blow up.
Or Kirby can just inhale him and swallow, beat him instantly. Or he can be spat out at his friend, who is moving just slowly enough that Kirby will have no problem reacting in time, even if he's being controlled by my great-great-grandmother. And she's dead.
Oh, goodness.
After this first impression, Waddle Dees rarely even chase after Kirby. Often
Which, honestly, that's smart, okay? Don't chase after something if you know it's gonna kill you that easily. If you're being chased by an apex predator, why would you chase the apex predator back? like?
Following their namesakes and waddling around or drifting down from the skies peacefully with a parasol.
Cute.
When Kirby unlocks Extra Mode, which buffs up all enemies and transforms them into wacky forms like erratic chicken, death.
Wait. Is erratic chicken real? Because that's so cute. Let me know down below. Oh my god, I need to know.
Death Skull,
Okay.
and Benny.
Benny?
Waddle Dees just kind of
Okay.
go a little faster and sometimes jump. But
Oh.
are otherwise
Oh my god, too much power now they can jump.
as the same dudes. In practice, Waddle Dees are the most pitiful foot soldiers out there in games. Almost seeming like they're more just hanging out, living their best lives.
Which honestly kind of makes me happy because you don't usually, well, especially not in a side scroller, you don't really have enemies that just kind of mind their own business. Usually they get pretty excited to see you, and so like, this is nice. I mean, like, yeah, the Goombas will kind of just wander on and stuff like that, but I mean, like, the Waddle Dees just be waddling along. They're so cute.
Than trying to actually stop Kirby. Calling them enemies at all can really feel like a stretch.
Yeah, look at that little face. Is that the face of an enemy? No, it's not.
And that has ended up being the point of them. Nintendo Power would go on to describe Waddle Dees and their first cousin, Waddle Dee,
I love how it said baddies on parade, and now it shows the Waddle Dee.
as not too smart.
I don't mean to alarm you, but I think I might be stupid.
Any solo appearance of a Waddle Dee, like Kirby's Avalanche or...
Okay, so Kirby's Avalanche is the game that I've been trying to think of when I've been doing all of these recordings that I remembered playing. And I think this is the one. I think I remember playing this at my grandparents' house with my cousin who owned it.
Avalanche or Kirby Superstar Stacker sees the species rep as nervous and a generally incompetent enemy. Super Smash Bros. Melee states that Waddle Dees don't even see themselves as servants of King Dedede. Too innocent and peaceful to have the motivation to beat up Kirby on their own. Waddle Dees are failures as enemies because they're barely supposed to be enemies.
Yeah.
Only barely getting in Kirby's way because a penguin said, "Yo, food though?" And they realized for a sec, "Yo, food though?"
Food though?
And through their charmingly pitiful nature, subversive to their own role, they come to represent what Kirby games are all about.
Yes.
Kirby often isn't about particularly rigorous challenges.
Kirby's most dastardly challenge, food service.
He can pretty casually float over conflict or find a way to avoid harm in almost any game he appears in. It's the way that Kirby interacts with his environment, the experimentation he plays with using his various copy abilities, the personality and
Next, the loving Kirby gave King Dedede a hug. King Dedede looked slightly annoyed. However, the hug felt very warm. That's so tsundere. Oh my god, this is so cute.
positivity expressed every time Kirbo does a thing
Oh, Kirby decided that love makes you feel warm.
that defines the feel of the Kirby series. Moments in Kirby stand out just by being cool or unique little experiences that punctuate his adventure with a sense of wonder, almost entirely separate from his gameplay or overarching plot. Waddle Dees, then, are the accentuation of that idea. Enemies too weak to be considered a threat, instead devoted to simply enhancing the experience.
I like that.
Seeing what Waddle Dees will do is exciting in any Kirby game.
Well, look at them there. Just having normal people jobs, being so cute. That's a commentator.
Whether it be the little guys tripping over themselves to give the most pitiful effort possible to defeat Kirby, hitching a ride on little boars, hiding in a big Waddle Dee puppet,
Cute. We're gonna look at that again. I don't... Because it... Oh, look at that cutie. That's so precious. And I love how King Dedede's going against
a
it.
big Waddle Dee puppet, deforesting the world with the cutest hats and the most adorable enthusiasm.
Oh no! Wait, Make friend. Drop ability, attack, and jump. Make friend. Cute.
The pop star natives are so utterly incompetent, and Kirby so far above them,
Yes.
that they actually can get players to slow down and appreciate the little moments. Setting up obstacles that would be really embarrassing to get hit by, they're so telegraphed, but so endearing to watch.
So cute. Look at that in the
Series director
background.
Shinya Kumazaki has even commented on their pitiful little function in a Miiverse post, noting that Waddle Dees incidentally get into Kirby's way, performing tasks that just so happen to inconvenience Kirby.
Okay, so it says, this game, I think, the first time ever in the series that the Waddle Dees have actually attacked Kirby through such methods as chopping down trees as he passes or rolling boulders at him. I say attack, but it's not that Waddle Dees are malicious in any way. It's just that whatever they do, they end up causing problems for Kirby. Can't really hold a grudge against them for that. Oh.
Kirby. And the development team loved the flavor so much, they looked for opportunities to add the little guys wherever possible. Like, look at them! Playing their little video games in their hidey hole.
Cute.
Now he disposed of the body. Oh, he learned to drive, but he courteous and obey traffic signal. What a good
Cute.
boy!
That is a good boy. Good beans. Oh,
Waddle Dees are made to make your obstacles just a little less intimidating and a lot more charming. And even in those moments where they become competent for just a brief flash, capitalizing on their weakness to surprise the player with something legitimately threatening, you can be sure that their comical defeat is just around the corner.
aw, cuties.
Now, Waddle Dees could take this win, being bad enemies but really fun and cute comedy characters that fit Kirby's theming, and they'd go down as pretty beloved characters in the same way that Mario's Boos or Dragon Quest's Slimes are.
Most adorably incompetent, best smile, and most likely to cause a gambling addiction. Yeah.
But they like to go one step beyond. And past their charming cartoon antics, Waddle Dees have developed into wonderful individuals whose hard work puts them above the rest of the pack. As early as Kirby Superstar, Waddle Dees have tended to be just a smidge more durable than their contemporaries,
Whoa.
taken to its logical extreme
2 hits, guys, 2 hits.
in Kirby Superstar's finale, The Arena. Here, facing down a gauntlet of every boss that Superstar has to offer, Kirby will have to face this regular Waddle Dee.
What are we going to do? What are we gonna do?
The seal is fate. Death awaits you.
But one that is slightly more durable than this warship cannon. Will stay in the ring through pure endurance. Unless Kirby just swallows him and beats him in one hit like any other regular enemy. However, this jokey determination gets flipped on its head in another of Superstar's modes, the Revenge of Meta Knight, where Waddle Dee gets to show off his most powerful ability, loyalty.
Yeah, yes.
Here,
yes, yes,
a
yes.
sailor Waddle Dee is part of Meta
Sailor D, a cutie bean.
Knight's crew. A bit out of place around the Train League of Knights and the airship
They don't know I love them. Oh my goodness gracious. I think they do know.
captain on board. He's naive, seems occasionally concerned for Kirby's well-being when everyone else on the ship is trying to kill him, and accidentally reveals to the player how to beat the otherwise invincible halberd reactor. But when push comes to shove, this little sailor respects Meta Knight like no other. After Kirby wrecks up Meta Knight's ship and sends it toward a permanent vacation in the Secret Sea, even after every single one of Meta Knight's other comrades evacuates, the shaky ship hand remains on, the only witness to his commander's duel with Kirby. It's unknown if Sailor Waddle Dee survived the crash of the halberd.
I hope so.
But let it be known that even though the captain was too chicken to go down with the ship, Waddle Dee remained.
Oh, look at that Waddle Dee in the sunset. I remain.
This unwavering devotion to those who show Waddle Dee's kindness remains their most defining aspect. Kirby 64 features only one Waddle Dee,
Which I played
unfortunate enough to get possessed by a fragment of dark matter, and forced to fight Kirby as this weirdly high polygon Waddle Doo.
Yeah.
Really, like what happened to his model in Brawl? Anyway, a fight against even a possessed Waddle Dee is about as pitiful and comical as you would expect. Kirby able to beat the guy without any sort of issue. But this Waddle Dee hangs on, deciding not to let his exorcism go unpaid, and following Kirby as a loyal friend through the rest of his planet-hopping adventure. Dee accompanies Kirby through various levels, occasionally making sure that his friend has an escape route from dire situations, and more often providing makeshift vehicles to help Kirby through more tricky terrain.
Like, I don't remember much about this game, even though I did play it, because I was so young when I played it, or it's been so long since I played it, but it is heckin' cute.
Sure, he usually ends up over his head, and most of his rides with Kirby end off with him tumbling into the abyss. But he is a Waddle Dee. It's hard to expect more from him than the very low bar that is his best.
Oh,
Even
he's just doing his best, guys. Just his best. That's so cute.
still, not only is the little man the breaking point that gets King Dedede to reluctantly join the rest of Kirby's crew as a true friend, he plunges right into the heart of darkness, Dark Star itself, with the rest of the gang to free the universe from dark matter's corrupting grasp.
Which is really impressive when you consider how very fragile they are as a species.
And at the end of it all, well, even a humble Waddle Dee can become a hero. He just needs the right friends to help him out. But if you know Waddle Dees for anything recently, it's their bond with their chosen leader, King Dedede. While Waddle Dees didn't see the big penguin as much at first, as previously mentioned, Triple D has more than given them his fair share of attention. The Kirby anime sees the Waddle Dees as the king's faithful staff, serving his every whim without a care as long as he keeps them fed and housed, not even really minding if he sells them out as slave labor.
Okay, that last one, that concerns me. But like the whole being super loyal as long as they're fed and housed, I think you could get a lot of people that way. I think you could get a lot of people to be pretty loyal to you that way these days.
As long as they get their meal at the end of the day, they couldn't even think of revolting.
Some scholars believe that Waddle Dees roam freely unless somebody gives them a meal and a place to sleep. Waddle Dees feel that it's their duty to stay and repay their host.
Kirby Mass Attack sees the Waddle Dees as not the easiest enemies to defeat for once, Beanbon pitifully taking up that role.
Cute.
So the meager minions get the chance to actually be fairly competent in a later level, Dedede Resort. Taking out what
Dedede Resort? I don't feel like this game has been mentioned in any of the videos, even the King Dedede one.
Kirby might be rough, but ambushing a gang of mini Kirbys with bombs and fruit to protect their king while he's on vacation, that they can handle. Kirby Superstar Ultra sees Dedede trying to take his ultimate revenge on Kirby, rallying all of his troops to try to clobber the pink puffball with all of his might. And though a king is no match for the boy who slays gods, Dedede
Hi! Paya!
acts nobly, his troops properly armed with spears for once, and the king himself trying to spare his closest Waddle Dee advisor from having to face Kirby's wrath. And this act forever endears Dedede to those who waddle with his namesake, willing to follow him in defeat, not as the guy who gives them food, but as their king. Kirby and the
I mean, he still gives them food, and they still want food, which is fair.
Forgotten Land cements this absolutely. King Dedede is brainwashed by the Beast Pack to capture as many of his subjects as possible to use his batteries for a nefarious purpose.
So sad.
Yet the moment he's freed from his mind control by Kirby, despite everything he's done, the Waddle Dees instantly forgive Dedede.
But, like, okay, I can understand that, though, right? Because if somebody that you truly love and care about does something bad, but you find out afterwards that they had no control over their actions, it was against their will, etc., why would you treat them poorly when they return back to normal? Like, it wasn't them, it wasn't their actions. So, of course, you'd be able to forgive them because they weren't the ones doing the terrible things. It was whoever was controlling or puppeteering them.
Rushing to his side as he gives them all friendly greetings. And when the hordes of the Beast Pack descend upon them, threatening to trample a Waddle Dee in their wake, Dedede runs back to save the little guy, hurling him to safety and taking his place.
Nice strike.
A king sacrificing himself for his subject, ready to take on an army for the life of one clumsy little boy.
We love it. And it's nice that the devotion goes both ways between King Dedede and the Waddle Dees.
Beating an army back, the Waddle Dees the king rescued personally nurse him back to health, loudly proclaiming their admiration for their king's strength, decisiveness, and kindness. For the weakest of subjects changed the heart of a selfish king, and he completely and utterly won their hearts in turn.
That's true.
Waddle Dees have come such a long way from their humble beginnings as adorable punchlines.
Or adorable punching bags, to be honest.
But there is one that encapsulates their entire journey. One idol that every Waddle Dee aspires to be.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that Waddle Dees are wrapped into one singular character.
The bandana one. Right? Which I never played the game with the bandana
Here
one.
comes the boy.
Bandana Waddle Dee, or Bandy, first appeared.
Bandy! Oh, that's so cute. I'm also so excited that we're going to get the background on Bandana Waddle Dee, Bandy, because I know nothing about how he came about. Because they don't really talk about it a lot in the other lore videos.
Appeared as an opponent in the Megaton Punch minigame in Kirby Superstar.
Okay.
And he has this cute little waving animation, and he
Cute.
punched the planet in half. But overall, people didn't really think much of the guy.
Okay.
A cute little joke of a Waddle Dee literally punching above his weight class, and still not being enough to compare to Kirby.
No.
However, in the years after Superstar's release, Waddle Dees started to be used more, played with more, You heard the rest of the video, you get the idea.
Yeah, I
By
do.
the time Superstar was remade 12 years later, Bandana Waddle Dee wasn't just coming back for a throwaway role. He was ready to be the Waddle Dee. He replaces the Arena Waddle Dee with the big, meaty HP in,
Really?
well, the arena, and appears as Dedede's right-hand waddler in the Revenge of the King mode. After Dedede permits him to flee with his life, instead of turning tail, Bandana Waddle Dee goes right out there to clobber that there Kirby.
Aww.
And is
Because, the devotion is so precious, and he's such a cutie, thinking he can do that to Kirby.
bodied pretty effortlessly. But when everyone else has been defeated and only the King and Kirby remain for their epic duel, Bandy is the only one in the stands, cheering his king on in the most desperate fight of his life.
He's so cute!
And there for Dedede when he inevitably loses.
Oh, sorry, you guys couldn't see that because of my hat. That's why I keep taking my hat on and off, because it's getting in the way, but there's the Bandana Dee.
From this point on, Bandana Waddle Dee doesn't just want to serve
I just love Kirby just, observing in the background.
King Dedede.
Okay, I'm gonna leave my hat off for the rest of the video.
He wants to improve himself in every way and stand with Dreamland's greats. Kirby's return to Dreamland sees the little man as a unique, playable character.
Cute.
Given equal footing with Kirby series mainstays King Dedede and Meta Knight as part of Kirby's adventuring party.
Pretty impressive.
And here, we see Waddle Dee's training fully pay off. Bandana being just as good with the debuting spear ability as Kirby is, and even outclassing the great Meta Knight in durability.
Whoa.
And he can do this. It's called the Waddlecopter now. I love it.
Oh my god, I know why you love it. Oh my god, that's so cute.
Kirby Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot see him following Kirby into the depths of enemy lairs, throwing him power-ups when the going gets tough, just as Meta Knight did ages ago. Star Allies sees him as the very first Dream Friend Kirby gains access to.
Cute.
The only one out of Kirby's main friend group and Wispy Woods who is not overtaken by
I like that. I'll cut you.
the corrupting power of the Jamba Heart. Forgotten Land sees him as the first familiar face Kirby encounters in this strange new dimension he's tossed into. Always willing to plunge into the fight as Kirby's player 2 and help the Puffball rescue all of his Waddle Dee brethren.
Cute.
But Bandana Dee's biggest and most shining role is in Kirby Battle Royale.
Oh, okay.
Desperately wanting to win Dedede's Cake Royale, a combat tournament hosted by the king to win a delicious cake,
Oh, I understand now.
Bandana Waddle Dee asks to team up with Kirby for a chance to prove himself. And throughout all of his fights, Waddle Dee is very unsure of himself.
Is that like a Dr. Kirby? That's so cute.
Always impressed by and complimentary of Kirby, but finding their success to be pure luck or coming as a surprise.
Aww.
But no matter what, he always gives it his all. Even beating Meta Knight when he thought there was no chance they could overcome the great Star Warrior, gaining MK's praise in the process.
You can put up a fight.
Even when he comes face to face with His Majesty, Waddle Dee does not back down, believing in himself and Kirby to take on the very man he risked his life for in battles prior. And when Dedede throws a tantrum and decides, well, Kirby can't win unless he beats this giant robot with a Kirby making machine in its chest, Waddle Dee fights for what he believes in, giving Kirby the cannon he needs to defeat the Dedede Destroyer Z, and giving the king his just desserts.
Aww.
And earning himself some in the process.
Yeah. King Dedede does not look impressed nor amused in the background.
It's a simple, cute little story, but it's everything that Bandana Waddle Dee has been working toward, and everything the Waddle Dees are all about. A character song was released for Bandy based on this game, the Apple Juice song, themed around his desire to drink apple juice so he can grow big and strong. And this desire comes from the need to support his friends, wanting to train together, spend time growing stronger, put in work even though it's hard, and eventually bring him to the point where losing to Kirby isn't an inevitability. Someday, if he trains hard enough, he could win.
This is so wholesome. What do you mean, the apple juice song? I'm going to have to go and listen to this, find it afterwards. This is so cute.
Bandana Waddle Dee is an underdog, one always humble about his accomplishments, one that knows he and Waddle Dees as a whole are kinda wimpy, but he goes for it anyway.
Aww.
He's not much, but with a lot of effort and friends by his side, he can stack up with the finest warriors of his world and achieve something no Waddle Dee could even dream of. But this strength doesn't come at the cost of what Waddle Dees have been.
No.
Bandana Waddle Dee is still incredibly easygoing, unswayed, and unfazed by the darkness that might surround him. And as long as you're nice to him and are willing to work with him, Bandee will be absolutely loyal to you until the bitter end.
So cute.
Waddle Dees are as intrinsic to the Kirby experience as Kirby himself is. They're the only character.
I love how Kirby has to like keep reminding us that, or he keeps reminding us that Kirby's there.
Characters who have appeared in every single Kirby game outside of Maximum Pink. And through each and
Which I don't even know which one is maximum pink.
every one, these clumsy little dudes have added to Kirby's world just by being themselves. Kirby doesn't need terrifying enemies from beyond, or deep lore, or massive 30-year character arcs to be Kirby. They're nice additions that make specific games and moments feel incredibly special, but aren't at the core of the experience. What Kirby has always had is levity, character, little moments that make Dreamland and all the other worlds he explores fun and charming.
Yeah.
Unrelenting positivity,
Yeah, I
no
love it.
matter what.
Even when the darkest, craziest stuff shows up, we still got a little Play-Doh. And it's really precious. I really love that about Kirby.
This is what Waddle Dees have tirelessly held up for all of the series over 3 decades. The tone and vibe of Kirby. One that makes all the little moments you pass by in seconds all the more special. And beyond that, they've evolved to prop up story themes, the ties and bonds of friendship, of kindness, of honor that the Kirby cast represents, all supported by an army of little helpers to make them shine.
Little guys.
And a few standout members who get to embody their group in turn. Waddle Dees are there to make sure you never feel alone. Something that's reflected right in our world too. If you visit the real-life Kirby Cafe by yourself, the staff will make sure to send a Waddle Dee over to eat with you, so you can always have a friend nearby and—
Oh my god, what? Oh my god, that's so freaking cute. That's gonna be another thing I'm gonna have to do when I one day make it to Japan. Oh my god.
enjoy your time. The pure joy that these creatures give is hard to put into words. But it's so easy to understand once you've spent time with them. And they'll continue supporting you and Kirby as a whole, as long as they live to waddle on. Because these aren't just Goombas with hats or marketable little plushies. These are friends with a truly sweet, careful, and endless devotion.
Oh, how cute. Oh.
2, 3, and maybe 4. Make you friends and baby, make it more.
Oh my god. This is so cute. And like, just like the previous one. Well, actually, let's enjoy these first. Is this the apple juice song? Oh my god, this is so cute. Okay, now that I've done the 3 designing for Kirby videos here, I have to say, I actually love the designing for kindness, Dededes, and designing for devotion more than designing for friendship. And it's because we have somebody who's actually putting a lens over these side characters who we all know, but we don't know. And so like they've always just kind of been there. So I've really been enjoying these deep dives into Dedede and the deep dive into Waddle Dee. If you guys know of anything similar to this, or by designing for that's like a Meta Knight one, or one of the other characters of Kirby, I'd really be interested because I'm really liking getting to learn about these side characters. But I also love the really, really wholesome lens that designing for uses. It's just so sweet and wholesome because, you know, like they are really good characters who've been designed well, and the people over time have treated them well, right? Like with the King Dedede one, there were multiple people in charge of Kirby, and yet they managed to stay true to his character and stay true to the seeds that were planted at the beginning of how he could grow into who he is today. And it's sometimes happens that when like new creative directors and stuff come in, they end up kind of changing the direction of these, but it's so nice to see this like continuous growth in this direction and how they've been so loyal to these characters. This has been really, really nice. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much to everybody who's been recommending the Designing For series. I really do enjoy them, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying watching them as well. At the time that I'm recording this, we don't have any of them uploaded yet, so I'm hoping that you guys will like them when they do come out. As always, if you have some more recommendations, feel free to throw them down below. I have a list that I maintain of all the recommendations, and then when I'm looking for something, I'll go and check out that list first. Also, I do typically post a new video every Monday, so if you do like watching my kinds of reacts, or if you want to see more of my Kirby reacts, you can go and subscribe, set notifications and everything. It would help me a lot if you come by and watch my videos if there's something that you enjoy. So thank you guys so much for coming by and supporting me with this react today. I hope you had a lot of fun with it. I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.